What's up, Zack Oates here, author, entrepreneur, and customer relationship guru. Welcome to Give an Ovation, growth strategies for restaurants and retailers, where we find industry leaders to share their secrets to grow your business. This podcast is sponsored by Ovation, a customer experience and marketing platform that gets you more reviews, more feedback, and more revenue. Want to learn more? Visit ovationup.com. Welcome, everyone, to Give an Ovation. Today, I cannot tell you how excited I am that, Scott, that you are here, man. I got to tell you guys about Scott. So not only is he one of my bona fide heroes, because I love Scott Porter. This guy is a rock star, but he's the founder, CEO of Diablo Churros. He's a speaker and consultant about culture and brand experience. He is a fellow podcaster of Taco Incidents, which, by the way, is one of the inspirations of why we did this.
Oh my gosh, awesome, dude!
Yeah. And Scott,
we'll have you on as a guest. I think we just need to settle on a date, but yeah,
would be honored. And Scott actually was our very first customer at Ovation. The way. Yeah, I brought him over for dinner just to be like, "Hey, Scott, let's get together." I moved nearby, and he came over, and he left, and we didn't even have our product built, and he was like, "I want it, give it to me."
I want it.
Let's
get it in place.
And he has helped us out so much. So Scott, truly, thank you for being you. Thanks for being on with us today. You're just a rock star, man.
It's such an honor. I am, as you know, I am the hugest fan of you and the hugest fan of what you're doing with Ovation. It has been such a tremendous catalyst for all of our success. We've used it almost the entire time we've been in business, literally almost 3.5 years. And so it's been such a tremendous, I mean, I can go on and on and on, and I have in testimonials and stuff, but if you want me to, I'll just talk your ear off. I tell everyone, other food truck, other restaurant, other retail, everyone, I'm like, you guys got to do this. It killed 3 birds with 1 stone. It'll help springboard you to success, connect with your customers in meaningful ways. All these, get more reviews, be able to, I can go on, and man, it's been such a huge catalyst for us. So I'm so grateful for what you and your team have created. You guys have just bent over backwards. That's what you do. That's who you are, and that's what you do at Ovation too. So it's awesome.
Well, I sure do appreciate you, man. I know we could spend an entire podcast just complimenting each other because, but don't know how interesting that'll be for everyone else.
No, yeah, that's true.
So tell us about Diablo. This whole COVID craziness. You guys have pivoted, evolved, changed, and so I want to dig into what you've done and then what you see as the future. What changes are going to be permanent and what things have just been temporary. Would love to dive in and just get your thoughts because you are one of these just thought leaders who is able to. You're able to not just understand the customer, but understand the vision of what is happening around. So let's dive into it, Scott. Talk to us about Diablo, man.
Well, first of all, I wanted to just kind of show a little bit of our team in action. Hey guys, this is James and Sebastian and Gustavo. They are actually amazing members of our team, and they're artisans, and they're doing some stuff that we weren't doing. They're prepping stuff that we've completely reimagined Diablo. So let me just head into the other room here so the lighting's a little bit better.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, why don't you give a quick overview for people who don't know what was Diablo 2 months ago?
Yeah, sure. So Diablo, we we make fresh filled churros, and we make them from scratch, and then we fill them with happiness and that's dulce de leche, Nutella, sweet cream, and so we focus on and have been since the beginning of our business on catering for special events like weddings, parties, corporate events. We do unlimited mini churros. And we also, a year and a half ago, we added a food truck to the mix, and we've been doing fairs and festivals and things. But the vast majority, about 75% of our revenue comes from catering.
Yeah, and you actually did. You even did my book launch party.
That's right. Yeah. Totally. It was super fun, and that was actually just when we were getting started too. And so that's like a vast. I mean, when a month and a half ago, when we started to have some of our events canceled before the quarantine was official, it was like getting pretty intense. Like, what is this going to look like? And so when the quarantine happened, we had this meeting where we got all together with our leadership team, and we said, first of all, how are you doing? Like, are you safe? Are you healthy? How about your family? What concerns do you have? Open up this safe space to like talk about the uncertainty and challenges that we were all feeling and still do. And so we talked about that, but then very quickly, because this team I have is amazing, it's like, let's brainstorm and get wildly creative, because I just feel like constraints and challenges are just this fertile ground for unbelievable innovation and creativity and ability to do stuff that I feel like we're in a time period right now, especially in business, where it's everything's one grand experiment, where it's like, why not? Why not try it? If you've been thinking about it for the past 6 months or 2 years, or like some product innovation, some new way to approach things, try it, because there's no reason not to. And you may fail, and everyone's going to be forgiving, and you learn tons from failing anyway. So try it out. And so that's the mentality that we've taken as we've gone into all of this. And so we're doing a lot. We've basically pivoted all of our events from March, April, and through May have been canceled. Many in June and many in July, and even into August are either canceled or postponed. And so we've pivoted hardcore to basically retail. So we are, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, we're at our kitchen here where I am right now. And we do Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, all the delivery apps. We have new offerings. And this is one of the biggest things that I see going forward, is that strategic partnerships and relationships with like-minded and where there's brand alignment, businesses that have that alignment with you, that's going to be mission critical. It's this abundance mentality of like, let's help support each other and grow together. And it has been huge. So we created this quarantine survival kit that's been such a huge hit. It's our fresh filled churros. It's Sobe Eats amazing, insane tostadas. Have you had them yet?
No, I haven't. I keep on wanting to get in touch with Sal and go there.
Fail. We should have done that in prep for this. This happened really quickly, but we'll figure it out, because you got to get these. You got to try these guys. They're like ridiculously amazing. Anyway, so Sobe Eats tostadas, fresh filled churros, and mixed sodas from Thirst. And then my brother and I started Reverse Charades.
Wait.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Just like quick pause right there. Scott Porter, not only has he done a churro company, is he, like a speaker, does podcasts, but he also invented a board game called Reverse Charades, and like crushed it at that, ran nursing homes, and by the way, started an airline. Like, this guy has done it all.
Oh yeah, it's like the most eclectic. You probably just like it was kind of like throw all these career choices in a bin, and I just pulled one out.
Oh no, you did. You pulled the handful out. That's what I love about you, man. It was just like, oh yeah, we'll do one. Heck, we'll do it all.
Yeah, why not? Well, and so just to clarify, I didn't necessarily invent Reverse Charades, but we took it to the masses. So we played it at a weekend with friends in Duck Beach, and so it was a riot. But I called Reverse Charades. We've sold the rights to a larger game publishing company, Spin Master, and basically said, hey, this is what we're doing. We're bringing together all these local businesses, supporting local, and everyone's at home right now and they're dying to play games and do something fun and meaningful. And so they've been wildly supportive and shipped us hundreds of games to be able to include in the quarantine kit. And so
cool.
that's the type of thing. Like, I know that you want to talk also about like what this looks like going forward after the quarantine lifts, or if it lifts in phases, you know, what does it look like? I see a tremendous alliances, brand alliances coming together, brands that are supporting each other, much more of an abundance mentality. Let's figure this out. Let's come together and pool our resources so that we can all be successful. And so I see, so that's been a huge thing for us. We're actually doing, oh, where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. So we're even taking that same concept. And so we have our churros, and then we're doing like a Cinco de Mayo, like fiesta kit as well. So same type of thing, but we're doing tacos and churros, and you get these little DIY fold and cut and create, like everyone gets to make their own piñata. It's so cool. And then you get the thirst sodas too. And we're going to do the same thing for Mother's Day. And so we're just going to continue this idea of like, we do dessert. That's our wheelhouse, right? And Sobe Eats does the dinner. And so we pool all these resources together to create something that people are really desiring. And so that's been awesome. We've also looked at other ways that people, like, we're seeing requests for like drive-up parties and corporate giving and virtual catering and work from home catering. And so like going hardcore into delivery and other product offerings, we now have a take and bake churro kit, and we have take and bake churro dogs, our bacon wrapped churro dogs. So we're doing all sorts of things. And then this past week, because my buddy Nate Checketts, you know Nate from Roan?
Yeah.
So he started this brand alliance called Brands for Better that are giving a percentage of their profits to help support the relief efforts for the virus. For those that are frontline virus in dealing with everything like healthcare workers, first responders, et cetera. And so they're like, well, you need to ship nationwide. We're like, well, we've been thinking about this for like 2 years. Let's do it. So we're now shipping nationwide for our take and bake churro kits. We're kind of soft launching into this because there's some things we just want to make sure that it's all running smoothly, but you heard it here first. Or we're just starting to get the word out that's what we're doing as well. And so I see that as also like new ways of delivering your product in really creative, innovative, that you haven't really considered before. And so we're a completely different business than we were a month ago. We're like doing production. I mean, they're down there making filling straws for our take-home kits. So I mean, we're just doing all sorts of different and innovative things, trying it. Like I said, everything's a grand experiment right now. So
yeah. And what do you think going forward, especially being so catering focused, what is catering going to look like going forward? Is it going to drastically change? Do you feel like it's going to get back to normal? Like, what do you think?
I think that no one knows, first of all. I think that, every day we're getting new information from everyone from Dr. Fauci to
Dr. Phil.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and the government and our local leaders and everything, and everywhere is going to be a little bit different. I mean, they're even talking about like no sporting events, or at least no gathering in large stadiums or concerts or things for possibly even a year from now.
Right.
Until there's a virus or until there's a vaccine and all of or herd immunity or whatever. So there's all sorts of unknowns. I think that celebrations will go on. They will just need to be morphed and be people are getting creative. Like I mentioned, people are doing drive-by parties. People are they may do parties in shifts. It depends on what the recommendations are for large gathering sizes. So are we going to see like parties that are strictly under 100 people, under 50 people? Are we going to phase and ramp up to those? I think things are going to dramatically change. Like these big festivals that we've been going to, I don't think they're going to happen for the next 6 months. That's what we're hearing. And so what does that look like for us? And especially on the catering side, I think it's just going to be new offerings for catering. So it could be drop off. We could drop things off and people come in phases, like kind of drive-by style. They could be what we're seeing for people that are still wanting to celebrate is they're having things delivered to people's homes, whether it's for like a leadership Zoom call, or we have a hedge fund here that is giving all of their team a quarantine survival kit for their anniversary celebration, their like company birthday party, which normally they would all celebrate together, but instead they're like showing their people that they care and they love them. So I think we'll see a lot more of these care package style catering. It is impossible to predict what is going to be happening in like tomorrow, let alone like 6 months from now or a year from now.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just going to be incumbent upon us as small businesses, and especially in the food business, to get innovative, creative, and be nimble and be able to turn and address a need and try it out. And if it doesn't work, like, then stop it and try something different.
Yeah. And one of the things that's like universal, right, is that regardless of what you're going to do, because I love that, it's like no one knows what's going to happen, right? So you need to be preparing for what is going to happen. But the two things that will never change are the fact that, one, customer experience, regardless of the method, is just critical. That's something I hear you harp on when I've heard you speak on your podcast.
I'm slightly obsessed.
Yeah, right? Like it's just absolutely essential, that customer experience. And number two, having a way to talk to people, right? Because regardless of what happens, you need to let your customers know what you're doing and how to do it, right?
And that's where I think like where you need to communicate, I think like social media communication with your customers, responding to reviews, connecting in meaningful ways with the people that really love you, with your fan base, and reaching out to them. That's where like loyalty programs like you guys, have at Ovation, and ways to gather your customers' information so that you can, like, we're looking at creating, one of the ideas that we have is to do like a deep fried happiness weekly bulletin, kind of like, what are the best good news, like happy news out there online, like kind of this like weekly newsletter.
Love that.
Just to continue to feed people positive vibes, because there's so much heaviness right now. And so we may do that weekly bulletin, but that's the kind of thing that we're thinking about long-term, is how can we continue to connect in meaningful ways when we have social distancing measures in place. And so it's connecting with your fans over social media, over video, whether doing like what you're doing, creating a podcast to provide. The thing is, right now, people are starving for real human connection more than ever before.
Yep.
And so if you as a business can show that you're human, can show that you care about them, can show that you're like getting out there and want to provide them something that adds value to their life. Like, what's something that's really fun is we have in our quarantine survival kit, we don't advertise this, but we throw in a roll of toilet paper, and it always gets like a chuckle, right? Because that's the new currency.
I know. I saw a meme the other day that was like, my house got TP'd last night, an increase in value, $20,000.
Oh, dude, if that would have been the case when we were in high school, man, my friends and I were beasts at toilet papering. It was, oh my gosh. we used to raid all of our parents' storage. So anyway, but it's true. It's like you just show these little touches that show people that you care and that you still want to brighten their day. People are, and that's one of our values we're focusing on this month. We have 6 values at San Diablo. One is brighten. We want to have fun, uplift, and make everyone feel like a VIP. And so how do you do that when you're social distancing? And there's still tons of ways to do it. Whether even if it's over the phone, over email, when you're interacting with them on social media, or whether you're delivering them in person with, like, even when everyone's wearing masks, like, this is what we do now when we go out on our deliveries. We're like churro banditos, man.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're churro banditos. Bring it in.
What? Yeah, normally I would not open the door if someone showed up like that. But if they showed up like that holding churros, it's like, I don't care. Just come on in, rob me if you need to.
Exactly. But I think we're going to see measures like this. We're going to see this type of thing is going to be, we want to make sure and keep each other safe and follow the guidelines and things. And so we're going to see some interesting social distancing measures, especially with food. And that's an interesting and awesome challenge for everyone in food, because food is so much about the physicality and the connection when you're there eating. And so what does that look like? That's where we're going to just need to get more and more creative with delivering stuff that make people happy. And I think it also underscores the importance of creating interactions and not just a transaction, because people want to support other businesses where they feel that they care, and where they feel that interaction is something that's real and genuine. And so that's why, like, providing, where people feel like they're part of a family, where there's like loyalty programs and things like that, where they can feel like they're part of the club, and maybe giving them extra benefits, giving them, extra churros, benefiting their lives. And, we'll give away a free, like we do when people sign up, they enter to win a free churro party for 25 people. We can't do those right now. I mean, we can do a drive-by churro party, but we can't do a traditional party quite yet. But we will, at some point, we'll get back to that. And so I think just providing value and meaning in people's lives is going to be that much more important.
Awesome. And any last tips, any last pieces of advice?
Just go for it.
Love it.
Just go for it, because now is the time to, like, my mom told me or taught me this ever since I was a little kid. This phrase of, you never know. You never know. Like, you never know until you try. Like, there's a limit at flour in Costco, right? That's 1 bag of flour. You may not know this, but we buy a lot of flour. So there's a limit of 1 bag per Costco membership per day for a bag of flour. And all I did, because this has rung true for me and been probably one of the most important things as an entrepreneur, this idea of, like, just ask. You never know until you ask, right? And so I said, hey, so this is my livelihood. Is there a way that I can get more than 1 bag of flour, so I don't have to come every day to get 1 bag of flour? And they're like, yeah, we can give that exception for businesses that are using it. And so I was like, okay, great. I'll be right down and I'll get my 5 bags of flour. And I told them, I'm like, I'm not hoarding flour. If I don't have flour, I can't make money. Yeah. And so it just underscored for me this idea of, like, you never know until you try. And so this is the time to try it, because if you're going to fail, if your business is going to fail, like, go down swinging, right? If you come up with something, who knows, maybe 3 months from now, we don't even do any catering. Maybe we sell our food truck, and maybe we do nationwide manufacturing of churros that we're shipping all over the United States. And maybe we change our entire pivot to a manufacturing, like food manufacturing business. I don't know. I have no idea if that's actually going to happen, but you never know until you give it a try. Dude. And so that's what I would say.
Dude, I love that. So here's my takeaways. One, partnerships, even if they may seem a little bit bizarre at first, I love that idea. Those uncanny partnerships. Two, new delivery methods, right? Find new ways to deliver the product, even if it's a new product. Three, celebrations will go on. Now, what will they look like? We don't know for the next little bit, but I love that. Four, communicate with customers in meaningful ways. I like that. Interaction, not transaction. You got to collect that data to give that data. And then lastly, you never know. Go for it. One of your doppelgangers and also another one of my heroes, Davis Smith, he calls this not the COVID crisis, but the COVID opportunity.
Right.
Because this is an opportunity. I love that fact. You never know. So, find those opportunities, go for it, because, you don't know what's going to happen, but if you keep doing the same thing, it's not going to bring you the same results after this. Right. So Scott, today's ovation goes to you for being such a rock star, such a positive influence, for filling our lives and our arteries with happiness. Thank you, Scott. How do people find you, follow you, etc.?
Thanks. It's been so great to spend time with you always. It's weird to not give you a big bear hug.
No, right?
I know. So SanDiabloChurros.com, and then on all social media, SanDiablo Churros as well. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Scott. Glad you're with us today, and thank you. Thank you to the risk takers, the troublemakers, the crazies who are keeping this world clothed and fed. You're the ones who deserve an ovation. Again, this podcast was sponsored by Ovation. To see how we can help you grow your business, go to ovationup.com. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, remember to give someone in your life an ovation today.